I have a tendency to overthink everything and even overthink how I'm overthinking. It's just actually so bad. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Jazzy. Today I am filming one of my favorite videos every single year. Not necessarily to film. Typically, actually, I don't make a point to film this video. But this year I am, because I noticed that every single year I go back and I watch the video after the new year. So what is happening here, you guys? We're having a stick up hair back there. But every single year I go back and I rewatch the video that I post like after Vlogmas, like one of the first videos that I post after Vlogmas. And typically, actually, I do it during Vlogmas, which I don't know, this Vlogmas was just so like filled with so many things that I guess I just didn't do this. But normally I like to go back and watch where I reflect on not only my year, but I also reflect on what I want to do the coming up year. And this year I did a vision board, you guys, and like that is so not me. Like I've never done a vision board literally in my life, actually. So today I am going to kind of discuss my vision board with you guys because I think it'll be fun next year to come back to this video and see where we are. It's just like been the highlight to go back and watch the other previous years and see how much I've grown, because I think sometimes like it's so easy to not see it when you're in the day-to-day, but then like it's interesting. Like I've never really got into this vision board life, but it's interesting to see the things that I have mentioned in past years that I wanted to put in motion in my life and see how successful I was at them, because like I was. And it's just crazy because you don't realize, like it's not like every single day I was, and this is kind of why I don't like vision boards if I'm being honest, because it's not like every single day I was looking at my board and being like, okay, this is what we need to do to achieve our goals. It was just there in the back of my mind, like this is what I want to do with my year, but I didn't even realize. And so like I wanted to put it together this year though, you guys, so I put it together. I already made up my phone screen, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna change that because I don't really like the messiness of it. Like it feels cluttered to me, a vision board. I mean, I think it looks really good. I'll put it on screen for you guys, and I'll actually I should probably scoot over so that we can be looking at it together. Or maybe actually what I'll do, which will be even more fun, is just show you guys each like thing that I'm looking at. So this is just gonna be interesting, you guys, because every other time I've done this, it's just been like a natural flow of conversation. So this will be weird, but we're gonna try it out and see what we think of it. My overarching goal for this coming up year is just to do things slower. And like I'm sure you guys have heard the term chronically online. Actually, I'm sure some of you have not, but I'm sure a lot of you have heard the term chronically online. And it's really hard as someone who has a YouTube channel to be offline, to not become chronically online. Actually, let's Google that and just tell you guys what it means for those of you that don't know, because honestly, clearly I don't know either, but I know that it's like probably not a good thing. Like it doesn't sound good. Chronically online. It means spend so much time on the internet that their perspective on life is skewed or overly extreme. A person might also be chronically online if their entire personality revolves around internet culture. Okay, I'm not chronically online. Let's just put that out there because that doesn't sound like me. But what I will say is that I'm chronically on my phone all the time, and something that I want to try and like instill this next year is being chronically offline. Like I want to still be online, like I still want to have my YouTube channel obviously, and still allow myself the space to like learn through watching other people, which is hard because like if I were wanting to do what I really want to do, which is like not go on Instagram, not go on TikTok, specifically not go on TikTok, I just don't want to do the mindless scrolling that I've been doing. And I don't do it that often, don't get me wrong, but I just know that like I have every single year now for the past probably 4 years wanted to disconnect from TikTok and like the internet as a whole because I know that where I'm happiest is when I'm not doing that. Like I feel like I waste so much time just scrolling and analyzing and watching other people's lives and forgetting what I just watched 3 seconds ago. And like, I don't think that's healthy. Like, that's not healthy for anyone to be doing. And also, I'm a very strong believer that like we shouldn't know this much about other people's lives. Like, we should have our few people that we know about, but like scrolling on TikTok and like figuring out, like knowing so many people, it's too much for my brain personally. Maybe it's good for you, but for me, I just know that like it's not healthy. What's healthy for me is sitting down, reading a book, you know, petting my dog, walking my dog, like doing things that are just, you know, more slower for the mind. And I think that that's like, why am I talking so much? I feel like I'm talking forever with my hands, but doing things that are just like, I don't know, better for my mind and like things that I know make me feel better afterwards. TikTok is not one of those things. Like, sometimes I feel more informed after I scroll on TikTok, but normally I don't feel better after I scroll, and normally I don't feel better when I binge watch a show. Like, I want to be better about just like being more disconnected from electronics and more connected to like physical things like nature and books. And I know so many of us always say that we want to do that, and I mean, I know that that's going to be a hard one for me to do, because every single year I say the same thing, that I want to do less online, but I really am going to try this year. And okay, so the vision board, let's get to the vision board, you guys. Okay, so at the top of my vision board, I have put your phone down, which obviously I've already explained to you guys. I just want to be more like good about that, not being in my phone all the time. I want to read before bed. I don't want to get lost in the madness of scrolling all the time. So that's a huge goal for me. And what I hope comes out of like doing that is that I'll have more time to do things such as reading. So that's why I also put a bookstore on here, because I really want to read more. I want to go and do more, like go into bookstores and like, you know, enjoy that. I feel like growing up, I loved going into bookstores. I loved just relaxing in a corner of a bookstore, reading. And now I feel like I would be so connected to my phone. Like, I need my phone to be just totally, I know what I need to do and I know what I'm gonna do, and it's probably two very different things, but I know that like I just need to, I feel so good when I don't have my phone on me. Like, if I go for a walk with Sunday and I don't bring my phone, I'm like so in touch with the things going on around me. That's what I want. I really want like more of a slow living situation. It's just so difficult because there's so much to see on your phones. But anyway, and so much to do, like, and so much to track. Like, I like that it tracks my steps and stuff, but I need to be better. I need to be better about that, you guys. So anyway, I put bookstore on here because I really would like to go, and not even that, but this bookstore that I put on here is just so like quaint. I want to explore places that like look unique, because something I noticed this past year is that like there's a lot of times that I'll drive by places and I'll think it looks really cool, like the place that I went for Carrie's gifts for Christmas, and like I'll never go into those places. Like, I literally am like, oh, it looks so cool from the outside, like looks so cute and quaint, but then I don't actually go in them and explore them, and I feel like that fills my heart so much when I actually do that kind of thing. So that is something that I really want to be better about this year. And that, going into that, I also put on my vision board, don't think, just do. What I mean by that is I have a tendency to overthink everything. Like, I literally overthink everything, and something I've realized is that nobody else cares. Like, nobody else cares half as much or even a quarter of much as I do typically. So I don't know why I do that to myself. Like, even in like other aspects, not even aspects of going into stores or going, like being nervous about like anxiety, you know, but even in the aspects of like friendships, I think I overthink everything. And it's just like, at the end of the day, I will never meet friends. Like, I have very few friends who care as much about me as I do them, and I need to realize that that's like a personality trait of mine. That like, just because they don't have it doesn't make them less valuable or less like of a good friend. It's just an obsessive personality trait of mine that actually is maybe a bad thing. Like, not always a good thing, to be honest. So like, I really want to do better about like accepting people where they are, accepting people for who they are, and not putting so much of my energy in the people that don't really reciprocate that energy, because really who I should be putting it into is myself. Like, I clearly am a caring, like I clearly have this trait where I invest in people's lives. Like you guys know, you know, like if my friends call me up and they tell me a story, like that story that's happening to them is happening to me. Like, we're in it together, and like I am involved and I really care. And like, I need to do that for myself, like more often than I'm doing it for others who don't necessarily reciprocate that feeling. Like, they don't necessarily reciprocate those conversations when I call them up with something that I have going on at all. Like, they don't reciprocate it. So like, what am I doing? Why do I invest so much energy and heart into what they have going on when like they can't even give me like a snippet? And that's not saying anything.
My favorite red heart.
Give me a second, you guys. Sorry about that, you guys. But I just feel like I have a tendency to overthink everything, and even overthink how I'm overthinking. It's just actually so bad. And honestly, I just need to do things. Like, okay, so aside from the friendship things, I just need to like go do the things that I want to do rather than constantly trying to talk myself out of everything. Like, I am always trying to talk myself out of doing anything because of my anxiety. I don't even know if it's anxiety at this point. Like, I feel like I mislabeled that. Like, I feel like it's a bad personality trait. I don't think it's actually anxiety at this point. Like, it could be, and I do get very anxious, but like, there are some things where I'm like, girl, you aren't anxious about this. You just literally forced yourself to feel that way. And I don't know why. Like, going to the post office. Actually, when I first started this year, I went to the post office to pick up a gift from somebody, one of you guys actually, that sent me a gift on here, and I haven't opened it yet, which is like another thing. Like, just do it. Why am I not opening it? But I just have a tendency to want things to be prolonged, especially like exciting things like gifts. Like, I want them to be able to last me longer, so I'm like, I know it's sitting there, but I'm not opening it yet because I'm too excited about it. But I need to, obviously. But when it comes to like going to the post office or going in anywhere, really, like, I have a tendency to just talk myself out of it and be like, okay, but what if this happens? What if this happens? Even when I'm in there, I'm doing it. So I went into the post office so nervous. I'm like, these people are going to be so mean to me. And honestly, I realized why people don't like the post office. It's because it's so quiet in there. Like, it's so quiet. Everybody's listening to what you're saying to the people. And normally they're rude. I have to say, normally they're rude. But the time I went in this time, the lady was very friendly. Both of them were very friendly. But while I'm in line, I'm gauging which one would I like more. Like, why am I doing that? Why am I doing that? Because the reality of the situation, okay, that's why I also put this other thing on there. But on screen for you guys. I put, if it is out of your hands, it deserves freedom from your mind too. The reality of it is that whoever I got, I was going to have to get. So I was like trying to convince myself which one was better of the people to get. And the reality of it was, no matter what, it's not like if I get the wrong girl that I didn't like or didn't think was as friendly, I'm going to be like, oh, nope, can't go to you. I'm actually going to go to her. Like, why did I do that? It didn't make a difference regardless, because I was going to get whoever said, hey, come to me. And you know what I mean? Like, I just feel like I put myself through these like somersaults in my brain, and it's so unnecessary and just not okay. So I really want to be better about that in every aspect. Like this, I really love that quote because it just is so true. That like, if you can't be in control of something, if you can't control like the way someone's acting towards you or something like that, like, why are you thinking about it so much? Like, you can't control that. I can't control if somebody reacts to me differently than I would want, or if somebody doesn't, you know, want to hang out with me as much as maybe I would like them to want to hang out with me, or even at all. Like, if somebody shows you who they are, like, you know, live with that. Like, that's who they are, not who you are. And just because they may be handling something differently than the way that maybe you would handle it, it doesn't have to do with you. A lot of times it just literally has nothing to do with you. It has everything to do with the person that they are, or the way that they're feeling, or the things that are going on in their life. And I'm okay giving myself grace, right? Like, I'm okay with myself being like, oh, I haven't talked to them in a while because of this, that, and the other thing. But when it's somebody else doing it to me, I'm like, yeah, but I would probably do it this way. Like, I would at least explain to them, like, this is what's going on in my life. But truly, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, like, they're who they are and I am who I am, and you can never change who someone else is. And it just is what it is. Like, you just have to accept people for who they are, especially if you love them. And if you don't, then just get rid of them. Like, they're not really their friend. Like, they don't really need to be in your life if they're like making you feel that much anxiety. But I'm trying to do better in that department of just accepting people where they are and accepting situations the way that they go, rather than trying to just control everything. Like, I want to be better this year about just like accepting things as they are and moving on with my thoughts. Like, not so much focused on thoughts like that. Like, it's just like not healthy at all. But anyway, moving on, I'm hoping that the fact that I spend so much time like analyzing everything, that I will have more time to do other things that I wanted to do for so long, which are things that like I really want to get more into doing arts and crafts type of things. You guys know that I go over and I spend a lot of time with my neighbor who we do art stuff together, like we do different crafty things. And yes, maybe sometimes we come out and I'm like, was that something that is just like not really that cool that I just created? Maybe, but was it a blast that I had a great time doing it, and now I have this item that maybe isn't the coolest thing ever, but it was fun doing it, and like I felt like I want to do more that makes me feel the way crafting makes me feel because like it makes me feel so much joy, and it makes me feel like my inner child is like I'm just able to be me when I'm doing art stuff. Even if I'm not amazing at it, like it still like makes me feel this joy that I don't feel in a lot of things. And so that's what I really want to do this year, is put more of my energy into things that make me feel that joy, rather than make me feel this out of control turmoil of like wanting to be in people's lives, or wanting to be like have things that maybe I don't have. Like, it's just so not necessary. So that's what I want to do more of this year. And then I also really, really, really want to learn Italian. And I really, really need to do that because this past year, Dominic and I both said we were going to do that after we went to Italy, and we never did. We never tried. We never even tried. Like, literally never even tried. I listened to some Italian music. Like, that's the only thing that I could even say that step that I took in learning Italian, and it didn't teach me very much. I probably did it like 2 or 3 times, and like that's just not enough to learn Italian. So I really want to learn Italian this year and focus more on bettering that. And I want to focus more on taking the steps to get to like the places that Dominic and I want to get to. I want to move you guys down is what I really want to do, because I want you to see Sunday. She looks so cute right now. But then you won't be able to see the top of my head, which I guess is fine. But there we go. Can you see her? No, you can't even see her anyway. She's backwards. Okay, never mind, you guys. We're not moving you down. But, yeah, I really want to do that. And we want to go to Italy again. We'll see if we do it this year. That's not, like, it's on my vision board because it's somewhere that we want to move. And I guess more so it's on my vision board because I want to take the steps toward that. Like, I want to actually do the things that we were supposed to do last year that we never did, that like are important. Like, I want to get our citizenship. Like, we did take some steps, but honestly, most of the steps we took were out of our hands and were things that like other people had to do to help us with it, and then we just never followed through with actually doing it. So I really want to, if that's something we're serious about, and I want to stop saying that. Like, I want to stop saying if we're gonna do this, like if we plan on doing this, if we plan on doing that. I want to be better about like this is what we plan on doing. Like, we want to do this. So like, why am I saying if? I think it just seems so unachievable. And okay, that was another thing that I put on my board, actually. I put dream so big you get uncomfortable telling small-minded people. And I don't really love that quote, if I'm being honest, just because like I don't know, it seems kind of negative. And like, it seems to make other people seem small-minded. I don't think that's right. But it's also speaking to myself. Like, don't think so like small. Like, I think that sometimes I can get in my own head about my dreams and about Dominic and I, like our future that we have in mind for ourselves, because it seems scary. But I really want us to be able to, like, I almost feel like this quote is even about myself. Like, it's such a big dream that I want to change my small-mindedness about it, that like it's almost embarrassing telling. Okay, yeah, that's true. You get uncomfortable telling someone. Like, it's a dream, Dominic and I wanting to move to Italy, that does feel uncomfortable telling other people, and they're like, they laugh. Like, to be honest, people laugh when we tell them that we want to move there, and like, it's just like, that's a problem with them, not me, right? Like, I think sometimes I'm like, that like it makes me feel silly. It makes me feel embarrassed that like I would dream so big. But even with my YouTube channel, I felt that way in the beginning too, that like sharing it with other people was uncomfortable for me, because people would look at you kind of like, really? You know, know, like, you really think you could do that type of thing? Like, that's kind of how it feels. And that's how it definitely feels with the Italy dream. Like, it feels that way. Every time we tell people, it just feels like they're kind of like, yeah, okay. Don't we all type of thing. Like, no, you don't. Sorry, I didn't mean to say it like that, but no, you don't all. We all would love to move somewhere like that, but not everybody is taking the steps to do it, and like we actually are, which we aren't, I think now, but we are, like we have taken some steps to do it, and like it is something that we really want to do. And like I feel like I used to be really good about just like not taking people's things like that as like something that's hurtful to me. When I was younger, like I would just do it. Like I would just do it and prove people wrong, and it was just like amazing. Like when people would tell me something that I couldn't do, like it only made me want to do it more. And I really want to be better about that. Like I want to, and actually I am still like that, to be honest. Like when people say that to me or like make it like it's like not something that is achievable for us, it does really make me want to do it more. Because I know we're going to, like I know we are. So I need to stop saying this is what we want to do, and remember that no, this is what we plan to do, not what we just want to do. So I put that on the board. So this board got me feeling emotional a bit out of here, you guys can tell. But the other thing that I put on the board is like I have kind of like a little health section going on, because I really want to be better about eating vegetables and like just being healthier in general, drinking more water, drinking less coffee, less sugary things. I want to do that for my health. And then I also put on here some like workout stuff, not really, like you can tell that they're like probably 5-pound weights. But I just want to, it's a reminder to go easy on myself too, that like if I can't do everything right away that like I used to be able to do when I would work out, that like that's okay. And I also want to remind myself that like I'm a different person now than when I used to work out in the past, because like for those of you that have been following along, you know that like it's something that makes me nervous, just because I have been addicted to working out in the past. Like that is just the reality of the way that I used to feel. I used to be addicted to working out. I used to reward myself with food for working out, which I think is healthy to an extent, but I really was unhealthy with the amount that I worked out when I was younger. And not even the amount I worked out, but the amount I thought about working out. So like it was just constantly on my mind, and it's so hard because I know that's what has to happen when you're on a health journey. Like it's something that has to be on your mind all the time, and it's so scary for me. But I have to remember that the first time around with this, I was in high school. Like I was a kid, and so I'm not the girl I was then. I'm like a totally different person now. So like I have to remember that like even as scary as it may seem, it's something I need to do. And that's why I also put Dear Body, I love you on here, because I now am at a point where I'm not doing it to change my body necessarily. Like I love my body. I love who I am. And in fact, I feel more I feel more me in a plus size body. It's something that's just something I've realized as I've gotten older, that like I don't see myself as me when I'm thinner. Like even when I look at the pictures, I'm just like, who? Like it just doesn't look like me, and like it doesn't make me feel as me. I think I am meant to be a plus size woman. Like, and even when I was thin, I was plus size, but I definitely saw myself as bigger when I was thin. And like now I see myself for who I am. Like I see myself the size that I am, and I'm happy with that. So like I just, it all makes me nervous. The whole entirety of it makes me nervous, but I just know for my health, I need to do something about it. Like I know that I do, because I don't love the way that I feel. I don't love that I don't like going and moving my body the way that I used to. Like I want to be better about that this year. So hoping that I can. Another thing that's on here is 6 a.m. and 6:05. And that is the time that I plan to wake up. And I do actually plan to wake up at that time, because Dominic changed his schedule now, so that should be actually pretty easy. I want to get up, I want to go for a walk with Sunday every morning, which I've already successfully been able to do, and I love doing that. Like it makes me feel better the whole entire day, getting up and working out with her. I want to also know that that's not the only time I need to work out in the day. Like I feel like that like I do that and I'm like, okay, I got that out of the way. Like I don't need to work out anymore, but I want to work out more. Like I want to be better about that. So hopefully I'll be able to, but that's why that's on there. I also have 40 grand. I have a bank account thing on there, and that is just the amount. That's a rough estimate of what I would like to save this year. I do not believe that it is possible, but we are putting big dreams on there and we are hopeful that that will happen, because if it can, like, that would just be so great. If we can get to the end of the year and I'm at 40 grand, I know your girl's shooting high there. And same with the YouTube subscriber count. Like, I also put a YouTube thing on there, and it's more like, I know you're not supposed to say this when it comes to like your vision board. You're supposed to believe that you can achieve these goals. But that's just not the type of person that I am. And I also am the type of person that like gets scared at those types of things when I put those big things on my board, like, and I don't want to be discouraged by them. So even if I'm at 10 grand, like, that's more so the set goal that I put for myself when it comes to YouTube subscribers. I really would love to be at 10 grand by next year. I don't see it happening, but I'm really hopeful. And then with the 40 grand, I really do hope we can achieve that. I really am hopeful. So we'll see. But that's why I have those numbers on there. But those are really like the only like unachievable things, but they're also just things I want to put on there for whatever reason I felt like I needed to. And then next to that, I have a coffee at home in bed. I have two just people sitting in bed, obviously. And I want to do more slow mornings with Dominic. We have a tendency to get up in the morning, and it's really hard to not do slow mornings when you have a dog, we've realized. Because we've been trying, and it's really not easy because you have a dog who wants you to get out of bed. I really want to drink coffee in bed. And I want to switch our routine from going out and going to Dunkin' in the morning on his days off to like actually enjoying our time, like, because we really just go. And we really enjoy our drives, I'm not gonna lie, but I would like to just maybe go in the middle of the day rather than going first thing in the morning. I really want us to like implement having slow mornings together, because I think that's really like nice. And even if that means slow morning as in like going for a walk together, like that seems more slow to me than like getting up, going in the car right away, wasting half our day honestly going to get drinks and then like driving around, and then like now our day's kind of over at that point. So I'd really like to start implementing like more of a morning routine that like is better for us and healthier for our minds, rather than just something we're like in routine of doing every single day. And that would include drinking coffee in bed if possible, but my dog will not allow. So, I mean, we have started making coffee at home, which has been nice. And like making breakfast at home. I really miss when we used to do that. We used to do that a lot up north because we literally physically couldn't leave the house because there was so much snow on the ground, you couldn't get out. So I really would like to get more back into that though. And then drinking more water is obvious. I'd like to drink more water. I know that water is, I mean, I really drink a lot of water as is, but I would like to continue to drink water because I just know that it makes me feel better, makes me feel healthier. And then I also have a passport on here, which my hopes are to go to another country this year. And I actually already have it planned because I am going to be going to the Taylor Swift concert this year. Hopefully, that's our plan. Me and my friend Brie got tickets to the Taylor Swift concert in Canada in December. So we're hoping that we can accumulate the funds to do that, and so that's why I have Taylor Swift on there. And then the other reason I have Taylor Swift on there is because I heard a quote the other day, and this is like probably my favorite thing that I have on my vision board, which is why I saved it till last. I heard a quote that was, I have the same amount of days in a year as Taylor Swift. And is there anything more motivating? Like for me, as a Swiftie, I know that maybe a lot of people don't feel that way, but you can use it literally for anyone that you love. Like anyone that inspires you, and Taylor Swift is like a huge inspiration for me. The amount of stuff she does in her life, like daily, is actually insane. So to like look at that quote every day and remember that like, okay, like I literally can get shit done the way that she gets shit done. Like we literally have the same amount of days in a year, and what makes Taylor Swift, like not that, I mean she is obviously, but what makes her more capable and able to do the amount of stuff that she does in a day than I am. Like she literally doesn't rest. So like I can do that. I know that I can, and I know that like that will inspire me to at least go out to dinner. Like there's times when I'm just, me and Dominic, we look at each other and we're like, we're just so busy this week. Like really? Are we, or could we go out on a date? Like, we obviously always could go out on a date. We have time. Taylor Swift's out there repping at the stadiums for Travis Kelce, and obviously I'd rep for Dominic if he needed me to. But like, she's out there repping. She's still doing her thing at her concerts. She's still going out to eat almost all the time in New York City. Like, we can do this. We can do this, you guys. We literally have the same amount of days in a year. And we think of the things we would achieve if we literally had her mindset. And I know she has a team, but the things she does is actually absurd. Even if I had a team, there's no chance in hell I would be doing the amount of things that she does every single day. So we need to be better about that in 2024. So that's the vision board, you guys. That's the vision we have for ourselves. And I feel like I might be able to do at least a lot more than I've done in the past. And especially when it comes to, like, imagine how much more free time you'd have if you freed up your, like, energy when it comes to electronics and stuff. And I just know I need to be better about that. Better about not watching TV. Because when I was at my thinnest, like, I don't want to say at my thinnest necessarily, but working out the most, I didn't watch TV. Like, I literally didn't have a TV. So I didn't watch TV, and I feel like I spend so much time on electronics and like watching TV, that's time that I could be spent doing anything else that makes me feel so much better about my life. But anyway, you guys, I am going to wrap this video up here. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button. I can't wait to see where we are next year, and I encourage you guys to make a vision board. I feel like it's not something I want to look at every day, but it's there for me to view in the future. All right, you guys, I love you, and I will see you in the next one.